8:30. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, and I'll open with a prayer and we'll stand for the pledge. Lord, thank you for this morning again and the sunshine and just the warm weather that we're having in a different season of the year. And Lord, we're thankful for that. Lord, in all that we do, we continually ask for your presence amongst us, and you guide us and lead us through our discussions, and those discussions are deliberate and meaningful, and Lord, they come to a conclusion that best serves the needs of Laclede County. Lord, just be with all those today that have lost loved ones, those, Lord, that are mourning and need your comfort and we just lift those up in prayers to you. Lord, we just thank you for who you are and what you are, and Lord, what you do for us every day, and all the blessings that you continue to shower upon us. Thank you for allowing us to live in Laclede County and call it home. And may everything we do and say here today bring honor and glory to your name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep, absolutely.
No, you don't like those big ones.
I don't.
There you go. Joking about it.
There.
I don't know if you want it or not. Saves asking.
I'm gonna just look over his numbers and say, why'd you push that one?
Oh, I know why. Because he does it two-handed
He
now,
does.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he needs a bigger
Yeah, that's
keypad.
right. That's right. It helps.
He was showing off last week. Okay. First order of business would be the approval of minutes for December 9th. If you've had a chance to review those, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes for the 29th.
I'll second it.
Motion second to approve December 9th minutes as presented. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Next thing would be CDT applications. I think we had one new one come in and maybe an update on one of the other ones, and maybe no update, but maybe further discussion.
That is okay. So Bennett Springs in the past has not had an ability. They had the ability, but they haven't had someone creating a full financial form. So therefore, they currently still don't have a formal financial form. We do have their budget attached. And we do have the bank statement that they presented before. We can ask for more bank statement if we'd like to, but they truly don't have anything that would be presentable to a financial statement. Per discussion, as we are looking at CDT for the new year, that may be something that we implement into it to say, okay, fresh look at these. We want them in by a certain date. We want them to have reminder. We want them to have a formal financial statement so that they have time to be able to implement it and not just here at the last minute trying to go, I don't have anything else.
So they don't have anybody that they're doing their accounting through, or their treasurer's not.
They have had
Who?
a treasurer, Dan Osborne.
Yep.
So as of yet, what treasurer or accounting they have had is still yet not worked its way to the president, the chairman, however they call themselves. And he's trying to get a hold of those things. So that's why we were helping him honestly with this, is because he was trying to pick up where
Former treasurer.
things weren't readily available to him. He was trying to acquire them and get him to be able to fill that out.
So are we mainly concerned about if we give them, the county gives them X amount of dollars for something, I guess we're concerned more about how they spent that money that the county gave them than we are about how they spend their money. So if they did provide a bank statement that showed something that they paid for, that could work.
It has apparently worked.
Yes.
I think the intent of that was to see, because it's treated like a grant, it's the setup of it in process was set up like a grant. If you're going to grant somebody, then you want the reporting back of it, not only for the grant, but in the case of where these are political subdivisions of the county, for the knowledge base of the commission to be able to know, are we helping? Are we, where's their sustainability? How can we, help them in some manner, or how do we see them surviving or not surviving or thriving? It's just a glimpse into their world, along with what the CDT tax is, because the counties lead on passing the CDT tax when it comes around to push it out. What we would like to be sure is engaging all of the agencies that benefit from it to see that they're actually providing benefit, and that it doesn't become something that it's not intended to be. We want it to be, actively healthy countywide. Any more from your point?
I would just lean back into historical perspective, that the county has always maintained the accountability that we would receive the financial statements. Part of that would be that the CDT funding, Linda may have mentioned this and I was drifting, but was that it's to enhance their operations through maybe new equipment versus providing for their daily expenditures. So it is to grow the county development fund, and so having that financial statement, I think, allows us to get that bigger, broader picture of how healthy they are, maybe. And I'm not opposed to the suggestion that maybe we go ahead and sign off on this one with the consideration that we'll be doing during budget, that this will be something that we'll push out that's a requirement as we take into consideration every year the use of the CDT funds and how they're distributed. So with that, I'm not opposed to pushing this one on through, but that's the decision that we'll collectively make. But historically, I think it's always good policy to stay on track. It's guided the county now for 20 plus years and how we have moved forward with this. And unless we want to rewrite the policy, which again, we can do that if we want to, but history's proven that it works. So, just looking back on the minutes, it was contingent approval upon receiving their financial statement. If there's other discussion, let's have it. If not, I would entertain the vote to go ahead and release the funds to Bennett Spring Fire Department.
I still think, as far as for further discussion on that, there should be, I understand with things that have happened a little bit there, they can still get some type of financial statement put together for us in a few months to come, I would think. So I would still like to see that myself and everything. I don't have any problem. I don't see like you said, back in the past or anything like that, where there's been any misuse from that establishment or anything else. So I don't think we got anything to worry about there. But I would still like to, because that is the structure, that is the base, that is everybody else is done all the same way. So I think that we should still, request a financial statement. But I don't have any problem with going ahead with that being said. I would go ahead and move to release them the funds at this time, but still with the understanding that they will get as a financial statement.
And there will be a financial statement
In the
next year.
future.
Yes.
And the year after that.
Yeah, we're moving forward, correct.
Okay. Joe made a motion to approve the CDT application for Bennett Spring Fire District in the amount of $6,000. Do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Now, I have on here that it was initialed last week by Eric and Joe, and I'm gonna initial it this morning. You guys okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Hazel Green, we're still working on clarification, not only for their financial statement, which I think they can get or have been able to, haven't said they couldn't yet. And their just clarification of the invoice that they turned over. Because when I called and asked a gentleman on their board, he said, I know we did get an AED, but I don't know if we got two or if we got supplies that went with it or what. He goes, I'll have to get clarification on that. So it is surrounding that, but specifically it wasn't on there. So that one's still in process. Stoutland is brand new. Just came in yesterday.
Okay, so we have the CDT application for Stoutland Volunteer Fire Department. They're requesting $6,000, and looks like they have submitted their application. And then it looks like
$2 of bunker gear, flashlights at any left.
If they have any left, I'll get some.
we really don't have a financial statement on this one, do we?
I do, not up here.
No,
You've
we
got the
have
rest.
a list of bank transactions.
That's what he provided. He said, that's all we've got.
Well, seems like all we're getting.
Well, it seems like we're gonna have probably the same request that's gonna need to be put forth.
So they bought 2 cents last year as well? Is that one of them?
I think so.
What is bunker gear?
There's inventory behind you. Look at the invoices.
It's
Huh?
it's all your bunker gear and stuff like that should be your, it includes your boots, it includes your pants, all that stuff, heat gear, mask, helmets, all that stuff. 2 helmet flashlights. Sales receipt. That's the date, 1/15/25.
Because they received the gear on 1/8.
Well, they may not have got invoiced until then, because that's 1/9.
That's a small
150.
portion of it, yeah.
Yeah, here's a 1/7. Suspenders and padding instead. This here's June.
In the case of
Paid that in June. September. This is for all their badges.
They were 300, all their year there was $364 short of the 6,000 they had gotten. He brought in a battery that they had purchased for their fire truck. And I'm like, "Oh, that's daily operations." And so then he brought those back, that last set of invoices back in again.
Got 6 badges at $121.50. Looks like belt clip on the very bottom.
So Ellen was on the board.
Not on the board.
She was, she's not.
This is their spreadsheet.
So why,
So
Not
Here,
in
here.
Marie
There's-
Brown.
shipping,
So-
tax,
Somebody.
should they be paying tax? Probably not.
No, they should be able to take care of that. They should have a tax ID number, but, so they run their fiscal year then,
As far as I know, January to December. But I
well,
agree
and
with
this
you.
is their spreadsheet that they give us here, that's August 31 of 2024 to June of 25, but yet the spreadsheet's dated 12/15 of 25, so they don't do anything from June to December?
Good point. Don't know.
So that's why I was wondering where they're running their fiscal year. Cause that's what it says here, I mean, September, it's August 31, but it says right here, 24 to June of 25, so that's why I was wondering, is that their fiscal then, so.
I didn't ask him honestly how they
Yep.
run it.
That may be why some of those dates on being paid may be falling in there. Still think we need financial statement and maybe see if that's, cause I mean, I know different entities and stuff do different fiscal years and runs things a little differently, and that may be the way they're doing theirs, so.
What's the pleasure, gentlemen?
The pleasure would be potentially some more stringent guidelines for next year's process.
I think we just need, I think the guidelines are there, I think we just need to get them to follow through with them. Get these people to understand that that's,
And you're correct, the guidelines are there.
so yeah, it's just following through and doing them correctly, I mean, it's just, that's all that it is. I mean, it's just taking each step and doing it right, you know, 'cause like I said, I mean, even with the unfortunacies of, you know, the passing of a treasurer, this or that, we still file our taxes, we still have to do things a certain way. If you're doing them yourself instead of using a accountant or of some sort, then you should still have something there that shows how your finances are done. You know, if you are using an accountant, that's real easy. You make a phone call, especially today's world, boom, they put it out, they email it, bam, there it is. So we just need to get them to follow those guidelines and procedures.
So what might be appropriate when we go into budget and this topic comes up for discussion? Previously, we'd also discussed the fact that we might start a little earlier in the year
Yes,
with sending out the CDT applications. I think a letter from the commission would be in order to go out with that application.
I like it.
That in order for these to be considered this is required, this is nothing new. But this will be required before your application will be accepted. And so with that, we did approve Bennett Spring, really with the same amount of information we have for
Yes.
Stoutland.
Correct.
So if we want to be consistent, then I would entertain a motion to approve the Stoutland Volunteer Fire Department application. If you're okay with all the expenses, and you look through those, you're okay with all the expenses?
Yes.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve the Stoutland Fire Department application for $6,000.
I would make the motion for the Stoutland for that as well, with also still, I would still like to see a financial statement somewhere in the near future.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion second to approve the Stoutland Rural Fire Department application for $6,000. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Approved. All right. Next item is the distribution of the surplus funds for, it was tax sale 2023-2, and this was in the estate of Mary Louise Parson. So if you remember back sometime earlier in the year, we had a gentleman here from Heartland Partners. I believe his name was Mr. Tony Castens, and he had requested at that time that the commission release the funds. We'd indicated to him that we'd like more information in clarification. And so since that time, there has been a court order issued that declares the affidavit of heirship. And I have all those documents here in front of me, and I'll present those here. If you look at the statute 140.230, county commission shall compel owners, lien holders of records, or agents to make satisfactory proof of their claims before receiving their money, provided that no county shall pay interest to the claimant of any such fine. Any such claim shall be filed with the county commission within 90 days after expiration of the redemption period. Well, that calendar typically we've not looked at within the 90 days. We've allowed it to go beyond the 90 days up to the point that at the 3-year mark, the treasurer would release, if no claims have been presented to the commission, then the treasurer will release those funds to the schools, and that's here in the statutes as well. So what's happened is that Mr. Castens is representing some of the heirs. Judge Jackson issued a judgment determining heirship on November 14th. It's my understanding in talking with legal counsel that it 30 days it becomes binding, if you will, unless somebody contests it, and it can even be contested after that. So we're past the 30 days now, and we have the request in front of us to distribute these funds. In also speaking with counsel, this is a legal document, obviously, declared by the judge, and we can follow that, or we can ask for the circuit court to interplead, and we give it all back to them. But I don't think that would accomplish anything, because the circuit court's already made their determination on what who the heirs are. So I have the request from Mr. Castens. I have the notarized assignment of interest from the individuals that he's representing, that they've assigned him a portion of their inheritance off of this estate. And then in addition to those heirs, if you look at the list, there were other heirs, relatives, cousins of Miss Parsons that are not being represented by Mr. Castens and his company. I have taken it upon myself to reach out to those individuals, and I have their information as well that verifies that they are who they say they are, and that they're requesting their amount as determined by the court. The amount of the funds that were being held were $183,289.01, and then the distribution of those funds. This is the heirs if they're not there, and I've checked my math. I've double checked my math. I have asked staff to double check my math, and that's the amount of distribution to those heirs based upon the court order.
You said you had reached out to some others that wasn't on the,
Okay, what goes with what here? I'll put those back.
yep, that goes all there, yeah. And the ones that you reached out to, they are also where they can get the funds from what you're saying?
Yeah, so Joe, if you have that distribution list there, I believe they're the first four there.
Okay. Well, I didn't know.
The salvage, and they did not have any representation, but their letters of
That's what these are.
yes,
Okay,
along with
okay.
their identification.
That's what I was gonna say, cause some of those names I wasn't getting and didn't have anything in that one file, so, okay. That's what these are, yeah, okay. Yeah. Distributions of funds again.
How much of this file we keep the entire file probably on hand? Okay, so I will put all this together. So do you have any questions regarding the distribution of funds?
No.
Okay.
Sounds
I just-
like it's all been run through for us.
So I just have one statement to make on the assignment with Mr. Castens. It'd be my recommendation that that we send the heirs a check for their 50% and Mr. Caston a check for his 50% that's been assigned to him, along with the amount that has been determined that he is an heir as well. Okay? You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve as it's been stated and written from the court orders.
Have a second.
Yeah, I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the distribution of surplus funds in the estate of Mary Louise Parsons. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Joe, was that an aye? I know you made
Aye,
a motion.
yes.
Okay, Linda, I'll give you this file after I get with the treasurer.
That's fine.
Okay.
She'll probably have copies of some.
Yeah, anybody's welcome. They can have the whole file. All right, next order of business would be the coroner budget, and I put that on here because as I was going through the invoices, there were let me get all my notes here in front of me. There were checks written to for the distribution of the acting coroner per the 25 budget. And if I remember right, the commission budgeted $3,500 for acting coroner. I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up or questioning it is, maybe for my sake, clarification. We had approved training for 2 acting coroners and the elected coroner. So when I look at when I look at how the funds are being distributed for the acting coroner, I'm just trying to reconcile, are we paying for 3 acting coroners? Are we paying for 2 acting coroners per what we paid for training? And I just want to bring it up for discussion so that we're all thinking the same thing, or we have a good discussion and how we want to move forward with this.
Okay, so with that though, we only have one acting coroner, which is an elected official, then we have deputy coroners, correct?
Well, we have.
How is that actually?
Yeah, so in the budget, I think, Joe, of course, obviously, there's an elected coroner, right?
Right.
But I think in the budget, it says
It says
acting.
in place of the coroner.
Yeah, acting.
Okay, so
coroner.
he's acting in their spot,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, just one, that way we got clarification on what we're,
True.
on how we're going on that, so. Yeah, no, I believe the best I can remember from that conversation, the way that it was written up, is that we only had it approved for 2, and that's all that the county should be financially responsible for. 2 acting coroners plus the elected official. And it was, I do believe, 3,500. Best I look back into my book, I don't have it with me.
Okay.
See that that it was $3,500 to disperse to them as he seen fit to give to those gentlemen.
And I guess
Persons.
that's why I brought it up, Joe, was for my clarification, are we distributing per 2 acting coroners, or are we distributing per 3 acting coroners? And so it looks to me like there's two options here. One option would be that we allow the coroner to distribute those funds as he has determined for 3 acting coroners, or we request that the coroner distribute those funds to 2 acting coroners per commission understanding as to what the discussion was in budget earlier this year. And if we do distribute to all 3, then it would be my recommendation that we receive a copy of the training that they completed, just like we have to complete our training and submit a copy to the treasurer before we're allowed to claim those funds. So I'm just putting that on the table for discussion and action, so that we can, make this determination and we move forward. And then we go into budget. I don't know how we would approach it at that time, but I believe we'll review this again when it comes, 26 budget. So what's our pleasure?
So with that, the $3,500 that we're talking about, that's a salary deal, correct?
It was a line item in the budget
Training.
that,
For training and salary, 1099 type deal or something like that, correct?
well, it really wasn't for training, because we had additional funds in the budget for training.
Yeah, there's a line item for training and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought there was. Okay, so,
Okay.
The
So
acting
just-
coroner belongs to who he wants to 1099, assuming there was two.
so there's a salary line there that the elected official, no matter which office that it is, can distribute their funds or give raises or do this or do that as they see fit, as long as they stay within that line item. Is that incorrect or is that correct?
Well, I don't want to mix two.
Well, I'm not trying to
two
mix
different-
anything. I'm just trying to say that it seems like some of them have different outlooks on some of this, on how this stuff works and everything. So I get to hear, of course, with me still being fresh and new, I get to hear different ways that this all goes, and
Sure.
we need to be uniformed as one, because we all should be one team on doing all this, no matter what office, no matter what or who, because there's not one of us not any better than any of the others. We also like to put our pants on feet first. So I just want to make sure of that way when we go forward with this, everything else is the same. And I think that it seems like that most everybody is on the same page, but I hear certain little things. So that's why I want to make sure of that, because it's just like with that salary deal, if they want to give somebody a bump and a raise or a pay, they can do that on their time frame, as long as they have that within their budget to make it for the year.
And a salary, that would be true.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. So, but yeah, but with that, as you see fit part comes into play there. I would think that would come into play and be something that office holder might think of there. But I'm still standing on, we only have the two deputy coroners that I feel like that we should be responsible for and stuff. Because if we don't know, and like you said, if we don't have that certification, we don't have those people, we don't know who's being sent out on these calls, and does that put us at liability? I mean, if something else comes up,
It would, ultimately it would.
right. And that's what I'm worried about there of the most on this is a liability issue, because I don't have anything stating on who any of the two are under him or that third one that's been added. It has never been talked to me, given to me a name or any of those, as far as that goes. I know who a couple of them was from years to pass, but I don't know who all these others are. So I still think that I myself am going to stand on what we had said and go with just the two, and he needs to figure out which two is what he's got there. And because once you accept the responsibility by paying somebody for that, we need to make that off on a different type deal, I would think, to where it would release that liability.
Two.
Okay, so, is it appropriate to ask for the, which I believe it is?
It is.
To ask for the copies of the certification, the training
Absolutely.
from two, and then whichever two we
Yeah.
receive would be the two that we would be reimbursing. Okay, and then to your point, Joe, if he wants, we budgeted $3,500. If he wants to give one $1 and one $3,499, he can do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the message we'll communicate back to him. Okay, the next item was on the agenda would be the 911 25 budget. And this discussion is regarding reimbursing comp time out of the salary line item there. And I think, as we know, 911 is working diligently to become fully staffed, and we've been through this transition now that's a little over a year, and we've accomplished a lot. 911 has, and they've continued to serve the county, and they're there to answer the call. But we know we still have some staffing issues that we need to fill, and I think every effort is being made to do that. But along with that, then, because we've been not fully staffed, there are individuals that have accrued comp time levels well beyond what policy states. So it would be my recommendation that we have this discussion regarding paying out some portion of that comp time, and either bring it back down to the 80 hour, which is typically what we see, or we could do more, or we could do less. And then I have an idea along with that.
I'd be fine with that.
Okay, so with what you were saying there, you was went down to the 80 hours on the typical part of it. Eric had actually written down while you was talking there, he had wrote down a 40-hour deal. So I wrote down your 80-hour deal, and I'm kind of the middle guy here, and I just put it at 60, and we can go from there. And I think that would be a good compromise. So,
well, let me speak to that so I can get my 2 cents worth in, like you and Eric as well.
you want to write on this too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like to write on things.
I'm gonna initial that. And the reason why is that, and again, maybe I look at history as a base to how we move forward. We have used ARPA funds and maybe some of the original CARES Act funding in the past to buy back down to 80. And when we get a report, it's usually over 80 hours in comp time, whether it's 911, road and bridge, or whatever.
Right.
So I'm not wanting to change the structure myself as to how we buy this down. So if we're going to go from whatever to whatever, it's truly what we decide. So if we're going to go all the way to 40, then I'd say just buy it all out. But I'm of the opinion that we stay at 80. That's what we've done traditionally. And because I'm a person that believes in tradition, and we've set a precedent, and I don't know that I want to set another precedent at this time, because I think part of the discussion would be the only reason, not the only reason, but one reason why we would consider this is obviously they've worked those hours. We want to be compensated for it.
Absolutely.
However, this is the only department that we oversee that currently is in this position. Mm-hmm. No other department that we oversee or that we've bought out comp time before have we went past that 80-hour threshold. So if in fact, let's say Road and Bridge came in here 3 months from now, and they said, okay, I want you to buy us out for 40 hours, we could come back and we could say, well, but you've been fully staffed, you should be working on buying this time down. But I think setting a new threshold there, in my mind, is not following what we've done in the past. Mm-hmm. So I like the 80 hours, and then I would like to toss out this caveat. I was thinking, how do we help from the commission standpoint to offer a tool going forward? And one of the things I thought was, okay, if we buy it back to 80, and set that as a new starting point. What if for every hour of comp time that they reduced or used, then we'll start paying them out either 1-for-1, 1-for-3, or 1-to-5 to go ahead and buy this down further, but we'll be buying it down in real time. And in my mind, I don't know if it's an incentive or not, but if we try to somehow think about, okay, you're using 1 hour of comp time, so instead of being scheduled for 40 hours, you're scheduled for 39. So you're going to get paid for 40. But in addition to that, you have comp time due, and we're going to pay out during that pay period some additional comp time to keep this more in check, with the goal that we don't see it get back to where we're at right now. Don't know if that has any merit. I've thought about it. I can shoot holes in it either way. But I'm just trying to think of an additional tool or mechanism that we can put out there that, hey, burn an hour of comp time by the 911 director scheduling that, because it ultimately is the responsibility of the 911 director to manage this. And so if you schedule and they're to take an hour of comp time during this pay period, and if they have comp time available, let's buy out some more. And it might be an incentive for them to go ahead and start scheduling some of that. I don't know. And I'm open to any other ideas if they're just trying to think of a way to make it something work.
I could get on board with 80, but we aren't fully staffed. And the realization is, at least short term, we're probably going to be building rather than getting somebody to take that hour away. And until we get somewhat fully staffed,
80% or better.
I don't know that it's nice, it'd be nice to schedule that hour off, but who's there to cover it?
Falls back on your director, it falls back on the
Yes.
head charge, and with that being said, that's where I lean to, and I'm with you on that, we can get it down to that, because I like traditions and stuff like that, because we're losing so many of them in today's world with a lot more things than just some type of a structured policy. And that's why a bunch of our kids are in state and sorts of 30th right now. But with this being said and stuff, if we buy down to that 80, it's always been done. To Eric's point there, we have not been fully staffed. We have, I don't know, what is our closest we've been? 65, 75% maybe at one time before they started going down. I don't know. But with that it's going to gain again. It's going to just start building again just as soon as you do it, because they are having to pull extra shifts and extra time, split shifts and all that. So it is going to have to come back to the supervisor having to manage some of that and fulfill into that position on his part. To your point on that, I like that one-to-one type thing to where, basically, so what you're saying is, it's not an overtime type deal. When they take one off, they get one also added. So, but would that be saying though that you're going to do is you use that 39, so they take that 39 off on their comp, they're going to get paid for the 40, but if they go with it, they get paid for 41, so they use an extra hour, and it would just be straight time stuff.
No,
there. So
they would be receiving the full measure of their comp time that's accrued.
Mhm.
So if during that pay period in HR,
That could
Let's
be,
let me know.
that could be a problem.
It is straight time, because comp hours is already at time and a half though. So
Right,
when it's
see.
listed in comp time, so all comp time is paid as straight, because it's already at time and a half in the hours.
okay, that's what I wanted to make sure of.
Yeah.
So if they decide to work 30, take 5 comp, or whatever, or work 35, take 5 comp, then they're gonna get paid for 5 more. They can initially get paid for 5 more on the by 5
If you guys,
hour to hour deal.
I would limit that to like try for a year.
Yeah, or even whatever length of time that the 911 director sees if it has any merit. In a discussion
Right.
I had with a 911 director, he said he'd like to make a policy. I said, no, I'm not here to make new policy. I'm making a suggestion that this is a tool that we can see how it works for a period of time, whether it's 1 year, 6 months, 90
Right.
days, or whatever. But and again, Joe, before we amend the Constitution, so to speak, it should be very difficult to amend a policy unless there's just really good justification
Right.
and thorough diligence that's taken place. So that's why I tend to view, my worldview is I will consider policy changes as needed, but it should be difficult to change policy without a lot of thought. So I'm not advocating we change policy. I just want to offer a tool. So
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that and I respect that, but also on that same note of that, I mean, so far, my understanding, it hasn't happened with me because it's already been that way since I've been here. You're saying that it has not happened in years past to have this much over in the comp in any area.
probably
because of
not
the-
quite to this extent.
Yeah, because of the staffing issues.
Well,
Because most
and-
other places have been pretty well fully staffed
Sure.
or up to 90% or better at all times.
Mostly.
That's what I'm saying, mostly, from my understanding. I mean, and I'm gonna get some of it wrong because I've not been here as long as either one of you two have. So I have to lean on a lot of your all's memory and information.
Not near as old either.
Joe, your perspective, I agree with but the other part of it is with the additional responsibility that we have now for dispatching for every call in Laclede County, that has probably driven this a little more
I would agree.
than what it had.
I would agree.
But if you look at the most recent report we received, it looks like there's 11 positions filled. And I also understand that our 911 director does sometimes, as needed, sit in on the floor as well.
I've
So-
witnessed that myself. I've been down there and actually seen him with headset on at a station. And yes, sir.
So we're closer, and I know that I think in the last conversation we had, maybe during department updates, there were 2 more. There were some interviews taking place, so it sounds like they're making some progress. So if Eric, are you okay with 80 hours? Joe, okay, 80 hours.
We're gonna roll with it.
You want any directive from the commission other than just the verbal that we've agreed, or do you want, that's all you need? Okay, all right,
And is
so
that as of today, or is
Pay
that
period.
going to be?
I would say the last,
That's this, December 6th,
For the paper.
because we only got one more payroll left.
Are we drawing it down today, or are we drawing it down the last
to,
pay period?
We're
From the
drawing
la-
it down as of the last pay period.
As of the
As
last
of the
pay
last.
period, yes. Because
Okay.
you gotta go pay period to pay period.
Okay.
So you either push it forward to the next one or you take it from the last one.
And we couldn't pay it out this year if we waited.
Right.
Sounds good.
okay, next would be general county business, and I'm gonna go ahead and text maintenance and see if Mike wants to come in. We'll be ready for him for budget here pretty quick.
All right, so with that, I guess, since somebody wants to.
Humor me momentarily while I
I'm gonna step out.
Are we gonna take a,
Let's take this
like a small 5-minute break
You
here?
bet. Sounds good. Since Eric's already left the room.